TV shows that get made into movies usually do fail. However, there are a rare few that succeed. That was a famous quote that was once said by me a few seconds ago. G'day guys, how are you all doing today? So, do you all remember the Brady Bunch? Depending on your age, you might have only ever heard of the Brady Bunch from this video.
That's the way we all became the Marvel Bunch.
Never gets old. So the Brady Bunch was a show that ran for 6 seasons from 1969 until 1974. And until I sat down to research this video, I had no idea how old this show was. I mean, the show premiered over half a century ago. I mean, it came out ages ago. It is really old. Apologies if you grew up watching the show and I just called you old. That's not my intention, I'm sorry. But yeah, I guess what surprised me the most was that the show only ran for 5 seasons, and in those few years that it was on the air, it made such an impact on pop culture, and it's still remembered and referenced to this day. And I guess that's just really good to see that a show that came out back in the late 60s and early 70s is still relevant today. And with streaming, people are actually going back and watching the shows that they used to watch as kids and showing their kids, so now new generations get to enjoy them as well. Now, decades after the show ended, in 1995, they actually rebooted the Brady Bunch with an all-new movie. Now, as a kid, I absolutely loved this movie. When I was about 8, I remember finding this movie in a bargain bin in Target, so this movie was obviously going to be a masterpiece. And the only reason I even knew what the Brady Bunch was, and it wasn't because I watched it, it wasn't because my parents showed it to me, it was because my uncle told me that he played Bobby in the original show. And I'm pretty sure I believed that longer than I'm proud of. But because I loved this movie so much as a kid, I thought I'd go back and give it a watch and see if it's as good as I remember. And it was actually pretty good. And really strange. And totally not a movie made for children. I've got a lot to say, and you know what, let's just get straight into it. So the movie follows the same premise of the show, the main characters being Mike, Carol, Marsha, Jan, Cindy, Greg, Peter, Bobby, and Alice. And something I will add is that the show actually did a pretty good job of staying true to the original show without having this whole 70s style going on and stuff. I mean, they even kept the old intro.
That's the way we all became the Brady Bunch.
Although something I love is that they're just looking all around the place, and when they're not, they're staring directly at the camera. Because I'm guessing they weren't really given that much direction. I can just imagine the director sitting there like, just look around and pretend you're waving to everyone, okay? Just trust me, it's gonna look great.
That's the way we became the Brady.
Morning, Mrs. Brady.
Oh, thanks, Alice.
Morning, Alice.
Careful, Mr. Brady. Don't bend over.
You've gotten the Dittmeyer's mail again, sweetheart. You'd think after all these years they'd know who lives where.
Well, I always know where to deliver my mail.
Why is everyone laughing? I'm just kidding, I added that in. But because the movie is set out like an original sitcom, when they make a joke, they'll always wait a few seconds, and no one's laughing because it's a movie, and it just feels like there should be laughter there. It just feels weird.
What is it, Mike?
It's a letter from the county. They say we haven't paid our property taxes.
Haven't paid our taxes. We always pay our taxes.
Well, they say it's the 5th notice. And we owe them $20,000 by the end of the week, or they'll auction our house.
So the main plot of this movie is that the guy that lives next door, Mr. Dittmeyer, very unfortunate name by the way, is trying to buy out everyone's house in the neighborhood. But the Bradys don't want to move because I guess they just love sharing one bathroom and jumping around in potato sacks. You know, as you do. So all of the Brady kids go to school, and that's where we find out a bit more about their personalities. Or personality. Now, with 6 Brady kids, it's so hard for the movie to try and focus on all of them. So what it does is it gives them 1 personality trait, 1 motivation, and you're good to go. So Marsha is the oldest out of the girls, and she's super popular, an over-obsessive drama queen, and having boy problems. Also, her best friend is totally trying to hit on her throughout the whole movie. Jane is the middle child and wears glasses, and that somehow makes her so hideous, people won't even want to be friends with her. And she blames all of her problems on her perfect sister, who she hates so much, she is constantly having dreams and inner voices about killing her.
Watch my head spin. Kill.
I wish I was joking, but that is actually a large part of the movie. Cindy is the youngest of the girls, and the whole movie, she is just being told that she is a little snitch. And while she might look sweet and innocent, she also has no regard for anyone else's life. Greg, who is the oldest of the boys, goes around and hits on girls all the time and makes them extremely uncomfortable, and I mean, he pulls out all the stops. He even writes them individual songs and will never take no for an answer. Hey there, groovy chick. Oh my gosh, my lawyer said that if you approach me again, he will try and get a tighter restraining order against you. Oh, you're so groovy. Hey, what about you and me go for a soda after school? Just leave me alone, please. Clouds never laughed before. Please stop. And beanstalks never grew. Peter is a boy that's going through puberty, so the jokes just write themselves. So I guess his motivation for the movie is to become a man? I don't know. And Bobby is a safety monitor at school. And there's only really one scene we get of him, and that's him patting down one of his teachers at school as an extra creepily stands in the background and stares dead at the camera, wondering to us why she's even in this film to begin. So anyway, Mike and Carol are wondering how on earth they're going to try and raise $20,000 by the end of the week. And the kids also find out about this information as well.
Yeah, if we don't raise $20,000 in 1 week, we'll have to move.
Go to a new school.
Make new friends.
But Jan, you don't have any friends.
Jane looks like she's just about ready to slap Marsha. But if we move, we're gonna have to try and find new friends. But Jane, no one cares about you or would ever want to be your friend. Ah!
We can raise the money ourselves.
But how?
Well, we can each get jobs and earn extra money.
Hey, neato idea.
Well, I bet I can make more than you.
With what, Shrimpo? Your tooth fairy money?
Who are you calling Shrimpo?
Hey, Mom always said don't play ball in the house.
Don't play bowl in the house. He just passed the ball to you. How's that playing bowl in the house?
We're gonna save this house for Mom and Dad. We've each got to make as much as we can.
Yeah.
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 Yeah! Wait. $20,000 by the end of the week? That seems a bit unrealistic. So all the kids go off and try and make as much money as they can to try and save the house. Which, if they were going to try and make enough money, they would have to make about $33,333 each. And if you're trying to make that much based off of mid-1990s casual rates, yeah, that seems reasonable. So Marsha and Jane try out modelling.
How do you feel about breast implants?
Safe to say, it goes really well.
Hey, Search for the Stars is looking for fresh young musical acts. First prize, $20,000.
What a random and completely minor thing to throw in the movie. I wonder if it's going to come back later. Probably not. But the kids really don't have to worry because Mr. Brady is one of the finest and most unique architects in the game, is what they say, until I realised that he only really has one design that he pitches to all 3 clients throughout the movie, and that one design is based off their house. But I guess it does work because Mr. Brady secures a client and he gets his $20,000 advance on the spot.
So let's celebrate. Put on your Sunday best, kids. We're going to Sears.
Okay, all I need is some onions, but I'm in the home appliance section.
Think I'll go for a walk outside now. The summer sun's calling my name. I hear you now, I just can't stay inside all day. I gotta get out, give me some of those rays. Everybody's smiling, sunshine day.
What? Anyway, the school that Marcia, Jane, Peter, and Greg attend are having their school dance, and Marcia's dad comes to pick her up.
Oh, Marcia, it looks like rain. You better take your shawl. Doug, how about you? Do you have any protection?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Assorted colors and textures.
Well, safe to say that went over my head as a kid. So the school dance goes as you would expect.
For my first song, I'd like to sing a number I wrote for the grooviest chick at Westdale High.
How many girls has Greg asked out? Don't let this innocent face fool you. Now, I wasn't alive in the 90s to witness school dances, but is this how kids danced back in the 90s? I mean, it's better than half the trends on TikTok, so I'll give them that. Now, Jane, being the middle child and, wanting her sister to suffer, decides to give herself a new look, but before anyone can finally acknowledge her, Marcia swoops in and saves the dance, leaving Jane emotional.
Marcia, Marcia, Marcia!
And to make matters even worse, the $20,000 advance from Mike's work had decided to not go with his design because Mr. Dittmeyer told them that his buildings were unsafe.
Criminal negligence. A building he designed completely collapsed. Old folks' home, Christmas Day.
But maybe the moving's for the best because Mr. Dittmeyer's wife really shouldn't be allowed around children.
Gotten so big. You're almost as big as your daddy.
And I'm still growing.
Before my very eyes. Cancer.
Hello, Child Protective Services. So the Bradys have to move out, but tired of her sister taking all of the attention, Jane decides to run away from home, making the whole family get up during the middle of the night to go look for her. But then Jane has a change of heart and decides to come back home a little while later, and decided not to tell her worried family. Oh my gosh, we were so worried about you. How long have you been back for? Oh yeah, I came back ages ago. I got a solid 7 hours of sleep. Where have you guys been? And you wonder why Marcia's the favourite.
Together, we're a bunch.
Yeah,
The Brady Bunch.
Did they just say the name of the movie in the movie? Oh. So remember that poster that Jane saw and the grand prize was exactly $20,000? Yeah, well, to everyone's surprise, that is their last hope of saving the house. So in about half an hour, they managed to make costumes, a song, and a full choreographed dance for them to perform. And they make it to the comp just in time, and to my surprise, the song's pretty catchy.
Flying down the highway in a makeshift Model TA. Woo, yeah, woo. It's a beautiful morning and it's gonna be a beautiful day.
Oh, that looks fun. But no, that's not my... I sit in the chair and just commentate. I couldn't possibly...
We're gonna keep on, keep on, keep on doing it right. We're gonna keep on, keep on, keep on moving. Gonna keep on, keep on, keep on moving. Keep on singing and dancing all through the night.
You can hear the music over 26 miles away. Smiling is a habit, and habit is here to stay.
Wait, what did he say?
Smiling is a habit, and habit is here to stay.
It just sounds like he's making random noise. I have no idea what he's saying. Hang on, I'm gonna look it up. Okay, so apparently the line is, smiling is happy, and happy is here to stay.
Violet is happy, and happy is here to stay.
I still can't understand him. And it's not even his real voice. It just sounds like a bad Elvis impersonator with a mouthful of garlic bread. Anyway, they perform the song, and you will never guess who wins the $20,000.
The Brady Bunch?
Yeah! Oh, great!
Well, here it is. A check made out to the Brady Bunch for $20,000.
Even the guy who's hosting the whole thing is like, really? $20,000? Those guys? Even I could do that. Now, if you were expecting this movie to end in a massive chase scene back to the house along with a police escort, I'm sorry, but you would sadly be Hang on. Oh, wait, no, you'd be right. That's exactly what happens.
Stop the auction! We have the money for the tax bill. I repeat, stop the auction! We have the money for the tax bill. Good news, everybody. The Bradys are here to stay. All right.
We're staying too.
Us too.
So are we. We will too.
Great.
Gosh, I wish I lived here. I mean, it's incredible. You people are all staying because one family is willing to stand up for what they believe in.
What a film. So that was the Brady Bunch movie, and it was everything I said from the start and more. And while this movie can be cringy at some points, I don't care. This movie's just an absolute blast. It's funny, it's got a lot of self-aware humour, and I love how the movie keeps to the characters like they were in the 70s show, and it takes place in the mid-90s, and it just makes the characters feel even more out of place and weird, and I just absolutely love it. I now do realise why my mum never liked me watching this movie as a kid, but this movie will always be one of my childhood favourites. And this video was actually really hard to make because within this movie, even though it only goes for less than 90 minutes, there are so many characters and subplots going on, and I've only covered the main stuff today, so if you get a chance, I would highly recommend checking this movie out for yourself. You won't be...
And I suppose you've started filming yet?
What? No, I'm finishing up now. Where have you been?
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to come into work today. What movie are you watching?
Oh yeah, the Brady Bunch.
That movie's alright. It's the sequel where things get good.
Wait, what? Hang on. Are you telling me they made a second one?
Yeah, a very Brady sequel.
Well then, we gotta watch it.
Now.
No, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna need a little more time before I can eventually talk about a very Brady sequel, so like this video, and maybe I'll do it in the future. But that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, and like this video if you want me to review a very Brady sequel. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you next Friday.